Did you do it? Did you get your Eldar? Yes.
What did it cost?
Space wolves. That's what it costs. Space wolves.
Before we begin, let us thank you for clicking onto this video. If you'd like to see more videos like these, consider subscribing and hitting the bell button so you'll never miss an episode. Now, on with the show.
Welcome to Pint Cellar, everybody. I'm Jarvis, and I'm joined with Hubrecht. How's it going, sir?
Hey everyone, hey Lewis. It's been so and so. Been sick, but feeling better now finally. So things are looking better than they've been looking, for the past week. So all right, I would say.
Oh, things are being so and so and feeling sick. Yeah, I just got over the flu. It wasn't fun at all. I'm getting the vaccine next time because I'm an ass when I'm sick, and that wasn't a fun experience.
I can imagine.
Yeah, you want to know how bad it was? Like, most of my family, coworkers, and neighbors were sick, except for my dad. So almost everybody I knew was sick from the flu. And it's like, I think a lot of people skipped their vaccine shots. Or something bad was happening around town. Maybe it's Nurgle.
Were you the only one that was, that was cranky, or was everyone, like an asshole while they were sick?
Well, me and my mom were in the house. Most of my sisters were gone for the time, right? But they got sick still. They got sick in their own way. But me and my mom, yeah, we weren't the most cheery people. But I'm particularly am an ass when I'm sick.
Right. Yeah, okay. So am I. I think so. I honestly, every time I get sick, memories about the time getting sick become a blur. So, it's mostly self-pity on my part. But yeah, it's not fun. Not a fun experience to.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, you get sick of chicken noodle after day 3.
Yeah, having to, be on, taking care of what you eat. Well, at least more than you normally do. That's kind of the worst part for me.
Yeah, you try to eat solid foods and you don't really enjoy it. Or it's like, oh, I can't eat this. But I don't want to have chicken noodle again. But listen, I got a bone to pick, and I have a lot to say because Games Workshop kind of, bothered me a bit. But before I go on this tangent, let's set the scene. So, Hubrecht, I'm just curious, what are your thoughts on Space Wolves?
Ooh,
yeah,
Space Wolves. The Space Wolves are have always been a chapter in Legion of Space Marines that I've been mixed on. Because on the one hand, I do like the theme.
Oh, yeah.
I do like the theme. I think they have a cool theme.
Yeah, Space Vikings. It sounds really cool. It sounds really cool.
Yeah, like Space Vikings. Yeah. Like, part of me kind of fell off the Vikings are cool bandwagon a long time ago because, everything was now about, Vikings this, Vikings that. And, I was like, bro, Knights are far more cooler than Vikings ever will be. Valhalla this, Valhalla that. Okay, yeah, whatever you say, man. But they had a cool aesthetic. And there are stories I have read from the Space Wolves that they are cool. Like, they have a cool concept. They have a cool lore. But there's something about the execution of this concept that has always kind of bothered me. A lot of Space Wolf stories, even Space Wolf stories, will have, the Space Wolves are so unique and independent, and all the chapters are in awe of how unique and independent are. And the Space Wolves are we are the chapter that's, has the hardest of all training. We are the most unique and badass of all the chapters. And all chapters believe that they are the hardest shit in the universe, right? That they're the most noble, the most honorable of all Space Marine chapters. That's nothing new. But the Space Wolves kind of abuse the I'm unique button a lot. That's kind of like I'm a Black Templars guy. Like the Black Templars, like they're a unique chapter, but you don't hear them say, they say how awesome they are, but I never felt like they abused that.
Yeah, you don't see them jerking off on their ego so much. I'm just saying. And I'm going to tell you, the whole wolf theme got old real fast.
Yeah, one of the biggest lore crimes that there ever was changing the captain designation of the Space Wolves from Jarl to Wolf Lord. That was a crime, that because it's so lame.
Oh, you're really into your wolf theme, huh?
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason why they call them furries, like the furry chapter. Because everything's wolf this, wolf that, wolf what, wolf. Ugh.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you don't see something like Blood Angels doing the Blood Guard or the Blood Priest and the Blood Lord and the Blood Guard and the Blood Brothers.
Yeah, I mean, for example, the Blood Angels have the Sanguinary Priest, but you could, just chalk it up to them cleverly using another word for blood, or being an homage to the Primarch, which is Sanguinius.
Yes, that's
his main kind of means bloody, but it's his name, so.
Because I'm just saying, it's kind of like what Flask gets for the Space King episode. Huh? They're what's it called? The Coagulators. Huh? The whole theme.
Yeah,
the whole theme of them naming stuff after blood. That's literally like Space Wolves. I'm just saying.
Blood type.
Sorry. Oh my god, that's so funny. That's so clever. Yeah. It is.
Yeah.
It's really clever and I loved it. It's something I think the Space Wolves will have done unironically.
Yeah. Yeah, and with the Space Wolves, then you have moments like, that there's a novel in which, okay, look, I'm going to illustrate the difference between the Black Templars and the Space Wolves. When the Black Templars received their Primaris reinforcements, the Black Templars received Guilliman aboard aboard the Eternal Crusader. They paid homage to him, and essentially Guilliman gave High Marshal Hubrecht the dressing down for taking, prioritizing his a personal vendetta over his duty to the Imperium. And, it was kind of like a humbling moment for the Black Templars.
Okay.
But when the Space Wolves, and I'm giving a very gross summary of events, right? But when the Space Wolves received Guilliman to, receive the the Primaris reinforcements, they made Guilliman kneel before Grimnar, because they didn't trust Guilliman, they thought they were going to take his independence away. And I'm like, bruh, that's a fucking Primarch. Shut the fuck up,
Grimnar, you have no right to demand from a Primarch when you have a Cornate axe in your hand.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, bro, you should have been like a half Cornate demon by now, or a Chaos Spawn, and your chapter should have been excommunicated a lot of times over, because the Inquisition has excommunicated other chapters for much less than what shit you do, so you're really ballsy. You are the Mary Sues that everyone accuses of the Ultramarines for being. I'm just saying. It drives me nuts.
To be fair, the problem with the Ultramarines, it stems from the fact that they get way too much screen time to the point that, there's more interesting chapters that could receive it. But at least, even with the Ultramarine wank of, them showing up everywhere even more than they have before, at least you have characters that are flawed or the right. At least the Ultramarines kneel before their Primarch. They're not like, well, we don't trust you, so you have to kneel before us. Like I said, I'm kind of overly simplifying this, but when I found out about that, I was like, bruh, fuck off. Like,
It is
like
a
I don't
fuck off
care
thing.
what chapter. I don't care what chapter you are. You know, that's a loyalist Primarch. The first one you've seen in 10,000 years. You don't. The Primarch doesn't kneel before the chapter master. Like, I don't care. Like, I can say anything I want about Gilliman, but no, like, just no.
Want to talk about humble Horus actually kneeled before one of his captains before they invaded a certain moon in a Horus Heresy book. I'm just saying that guy was a little bit more humble than you, sir.
And he's the arch traitor, so what does that tell you?
No, I mean, this was before he became a traitor.
Yeah,
but...
I know, but...
Oh, God, you drive me insane.
The Space Wolves. Yeah, like the Space Wolves. They, like... Like, I wouldn't have so much of an issue with Space Wolves if so many Space Wolves stories were not centered around... Okay, I know there are an irregular chapter that doesn't follow the Codex, much like my own Black Templars, so, that's always going to be a thematic and stories about them. But so much of the stories are so focused on saying, like, all the Marines from other chapters are like, oh, wow, the Space Wolves are so unique and independent. Notice me, senpai. Like, and I'm like, oh my God. Like, you just roll your eyes at, shit like that.
It sounds like something a 7th grader made about his own chapter in a basement, trying to be unique with his Space Marines, huh? Yeah, I have the Space Samurais, and they're so cool that even Gilliman writes poetry about them.
Yeah, like... Like, one thing is being honored and respected, even by Primarchs that are not your own. Another thing is, just being like, well, the Primarch has to prove it's himself before us,
You have
instead
no
of us
legs.
before him.
You have no legs to claim that, buddy.
Yeah.
But, I will tell you my personal gripe on this whole thing, right? Because seeing the Space Wolves refresh that they've done recently, right? It looks really cool. I really like it.
It looks really cool. It makes me want to buy some. Like, and I'm not a fan of the Space Wolves.
Yeah, because Badger, he gave this idea to me about, imagine Space Wolf mercenaries working for, the far side enclaves, like the Vulgarian Guard, and, an alternate...
The Varangian Guard.
Thank you. In an alternate, 40K timeline in which the Space Wolves were excommunicated and have to sell their services to other, races, besides the Imperium. Yeah. So it's like, imagine them working for far side enclaves. I think that would be cool. And maybe this could be an excuse for me to do it. But I'm just saying, Games Workshop has did so much for, Dark Angels and Black Templars. And just now, with the Space Wolves, it all looks really cool. What happened with the Blood Angels?
Yeah, my God.
It's not even funny. Like, I'm insulted.
It's a fucking joke.
It's like, a joke. My life's a comedy.
What were they smoking? Like, who was the team that designed the Blood Angel refresh? Seriously, like I'm really trying not to be an ass, but like, what were they smoking? How can you get the Space Wolves and the Dark Angels and the Black Templars so right and fuck the Blood Angels this bad? Like, how can you do it?
Because you know what they did for something like the Sanguinary Guard? They clipped their wings and they sanded off their nipples and called that a day. And look at the Space Wolves; they have their dress,
and their faces are ugly as fuck. Like the faces of the Sanguinary Guard.
It's really ugly. And they took their axes.
Yeah. And they took 2 of them because now they're in units of 3 instead of units of 5.
I hate that. I really hate this. My voice is cracking. I hate this. Hate.
Yeah. Honestly, we know it's been months, but okay, you have to audience. You have to understand that, my favorite chapter is the Black Templars. I never made a secret of that. And I think your favorite chapter is what was your favorite chapter, Lewis?
Oh, mine?
Yeah.
Oh, it kind of flex here and there, but currently I've been on a Blood Angels high, and
Right.
yeah, that's why I decided to make my original Space Marine chapter, the Thunder Angels, into a Blood Angel successor.
Yeah. I from what I remember, you fluctuate between Ultramarines and Blood Angels as your favorite, right?
Yeah, then it became Dark Angels, not Death Company, Deathwing.
Deathwing, yeah. Yeah, and honestly, we know it's been months, but we cannot stress just how bad the Blood Angel refresh is. Like, it is really, really bad. The Sanguinary Guard looks terrible. The Sanguinar looks derpy as fuck. And the things that are kind of tolerable, they're not tolerable because they're good. They're tolerable because they're mid. Like, you have Death Company that are just don't have anything special about them. They're just intercessors painted black.
Buddy,
Yeah, they're just
want me to tell you
painted
what?
black.
Let me give you a good example because the whole Death Company, right? So here's the thing: you look at the new Blood Claws right now; they look like Blood Claw Space Wolves, right? They're basically just They're basically like Scout Marines put into power armor. But because they're full of testosterone, they charge into the enemy's front lines first, right? That's kind of like the whole theme of Blood Claws, right? What's interesting for their models is that their power armors like mix and match, right? The chest plates are a bit different, their legs are a bit different, and even their pauldrons are a bit different. They have pelts, they have their special belts, and they have really cool like heads and heads and weapons and stuff. Even though you could say they're sculpted after Assault Intercessors, here's the thing: when you see them, you don't think Assault Intercessors, you think Blood Claw Space Wolves, right? That's because that's the whole thing, and they look cool and distinctive. Looking at the Death Company, you don't think Death Company Blood Angels, you think Primaris Marines painted as Blood Angels. I hate that.
Yeah.
They took away so much in the original Firstborn Death Company, model range that looking at this now, it's like you just took away less for less. No, you took away more and gave us less. You see my frustration?
Yeah. No, I agree. Like, I agree fully with your frustration. Believe me. I mean, what can I say other than I completely agree with you. You're completely right.
Gabriel Seth was right.
Gabriel Seth was right.
And they took away his model.
Oh, it was horrible. Honestly, and you want to know the worst part of all of this?
What?
That what units we had gotten for the Blood Angels before that full-on refresh, or what we call the refresh,
quote unquote,
were actually kind of good. The Mephiston, the Primaris Mephiston, looks beautiful still.
He looks good. It's just I think he has spaghetti hair because of how it looks, but that's my opinion.
Okay, fair enough. And I actually like the Dante mini.
Yeah.
I really thought that the Dante mini was good. But honestly, I cannot fathom, like, what the fuck were they thinking? Like, how can you compare the refreshes of every other chapter you've done, both Loyalist and Chaos? Look at the Blood Angels and say, yeah, this is what we're going to launch to the market. Yeah, this is, on par with everything else.
It's unacceptable. Because, we rented about... Yeah, sorry, because, we rented about the Sanguinary Guard and how, bad they did that. Took away models and took away their, aesthetics. But, for something like the Sanguinor itself, I was really expecting more. Because he looks exactly like his original model, but... I don't know. I just don't really find that acceptable. It's just updated plastic to me. The pose, everything is the exact same thing, and it's kind of mid looking. Because at least with something like what's his name? Blackmane, the Space Wolf guy. Yeah, he's at least jumping.
Blackmane?
Yeah, he's at least jumping off of something, and he has a different pose going on, and his model looks cool. right? It's
Yeah.
it's kind of like giving him his own, look and character model wise compared to his previous model. This example fits the exact same way with something like Farsight, Farsight model. That's why I find it to be the best model ever. But the Sanguinor, it's like, this is very underwhelming. I was sort of expecting him to be standing over, some blood letters and they're burning alive. That would have been cool.
It feels very lazy. And like I said, for example, I hate the face of the Sanguinor. Like, the face of the Sanguinor
it's twink
it looks so derpy. It looks so fucking derpy. And like the face of the Sanguinor, it's supposed to be the death mask of Sanguinius, but Sanguinius is grieving. It's a grieving Sanguinius, supposed to be sad and emotive. Like it represents sadness, whereas Dante's represents rage.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that doesn't look like, a grieving demigod to me. Like that looks derpy as fuck.
You know what it looks like? It looks like a, 20-year-old British guy. He turns 30. His face is melting. British twink death is real. It's rough.
Yeah. I've seen.
Yes, it's literally like Griffith from Berserk if he had twink death. Yeah, imagine Griffith if he turned 30. I don't know how old he is in the manga, but it's like, I imagine he's 20, but when he turns 30, it's all downhill.
Yeah, I can imagine.
There's a difference between being beautiful and being handsome.
Well, to be fair, like with Griffith and that, he got like tortured the shit. He was tortured to the point that he was like an empty husk. So, I think that twink death would have been more preferable to him.
Mm-hmm. And a lot less people will die.
Yeah, and a lot less people will die. Fucking Griffith. Fucking hate that. Fucking hate that guy.
Oh, he did nothing wrong? Well, he did nothing right.
Yeah, like no. Like he did everything.
He did everything wrong. He did everything wrong. Do not clip this.
Wrong. Like,
do not clip this against me, guys.
Yeah, I know, but like, I can understand saying that Magnus the Red did nothing wrong,
but he did nothing right either.
Absolutely, yeah, like he absolutely did. But Griffith, I'm sorry. Like, considering the particular specifics of his actions, that's bullshit.
Yeah, but, again, looking again at the, Space Wolf range, despite my bitterness, towards the wolves, and because of what Games Workshop had did little for the Blood Angels, I will tell you, I really do like the refresh. And yeah, like I said, the mix and match of the armor for Blood Claws, it looks really cool. And for some of the models, it looks like they're bringing back old helmets. Like some of them have grill helms, some of them have beaky helms. I like that.
Yeah, actually, that's pretty cool. Like, because like I think that a lot of people do not like the standard Primaris Mark 10 helm. I actually do like it. I actually like it. I mean, I like the others more, but I like it. I just simply want options that allow me to make the troops look varied. That makes them look varied. Like one has the standard Primaris helmet, but one has a beaky, and one has the, and that's exactly what they did with the Space Wolves.
Yeah, and it looks really good. I like it.
I simply like visual variety in helmets. Like I have nothing against a specific type of helmet. I think they all look cool in their own way.
And, the Space Marine, Space Wolf Captain equivalent, or I think it's a Captain equivalent in this range, right? He looks really good with his shield and his weapon variants and the pelts he's wearing. It looks really good. It's like this is
really good. Like
it's really good customization for your own Space Marine character, isn't it?
The mini is called Wolfguard Battle Leader.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a rough equivalent of a lieutenant, apparently.
Okay, if that's a lieutenant, damn, that's a good looking lieutenant.
That's a good lieutenant. Like that's a good Primaris lieutenant,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like the Wolf Priest looks good as well.
Oh, buddy, let me tell you, did they mess up again? Where that's not an actual wolf skull, that's a raccoon skull. Because they did this.
I don't think they're gonna be that precise, you know.
I'm just saying they made this mistake before. Have you seen the meme a while back where it's like,
yeah, I've
this is
seen the meme. I don't know. Like I see one of the skulls in the armor, and I kind of see a bit of a ridge at the top part of the skull that kind of looks like the one that wolves actually have. So maybe they actually corrected that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But I'm just saying, seeing that wolf priest skull, did you cover it up with a hood because you didn't want to see people the round half? And people say that's a raccoon skull.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe, I don't know.
Because wouldn't that be funny? The space wolves don't actually have wolves, as you know. The lore says there's no wolves on Fenris. So what does that mean? They're raccoons?
Maybe. Who knows?
Huh? Jeez, guys.
Who knows? Maybe they do. Maybe they do.
I can't even get your personas right.
Actually, the part of the Space Wolves refresh that I like the most is the Wolfguard head takers. Which are kind of an elite unit.
Yeah, that's
the one
really
that actually
good.
have wolves accompanying them.
You know, yeah, so much crap I talk about Space Wolves. At least they do go hard with the whole wolf theme with some of their units. It's, you know, it gets ridiculous. It gets old quick. But when they actually do use their wolves, it looks really good.
Yeah. Oh, but you know what else? GW fucked up?
What did they do?
Well, did you see the old world reveal?
Yes, I did. And let me tell you,
Grand Cathay looks okay. Yeah, Grand Cathay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying, Grand Cathay looks all really good, and it's all in plastic. It's awesome. Why wasn't this on day one of
in
Old
everything
World?
else? In everything else,
Huh?
Like, why wasn't this in everything else?
Yeah, why weren't the Protonian Knights updated all this? Huh?
Why are the Bretonian peasants updated? Look, this is the thing that keeps me from Old World. They announced in the same time they announced Grand Cathay, which will be a brand new army with all brand new minis. They announced the Beastmen, and the Beastmen are old plastic.
Yeah, they're
they're old minis.
Yeah, there's old
metal.
plastic, there's old fine cast, and a lot of them are still metal. So what is this?
And the Wood Elves are also old plastic and old metal, like not even fine cast, some old metal. And old metal.
Oh
and
my
old metal.
God, this is totally
here
good.
I am, here I am, wondering, what the actual hell is doing? What's the big idea? You have the resources to introduce a faction that was pretty much non-existent before and make a brand new army for them, but you cannot update into having new minis that are older than you and I. You know, there's minis in the Bretonian army that are older than I am.
Oh my God, this is totally gonna kill off AOS.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said it.
You know what?
Yeah, I went there.
I know what you mean. Yeah, the Empire does not deserve new Empire Knights or new Halvedias.
Oh no, just wait a few years until Cathay comes.
Yeah, so Cathay has all the brand new shiny models that all look cool and beautiful. But if I want a Bretonian army, I get a couple of new plastic, but most of the army still older than myself and the Tomb Kings as well, and the orcs and the dwarves and the elves.
Well, yeah, we waited for 4 years.
The Chaos Warriors too, Chaos Warriors as well.
Yeah, wait for 4 years only to do all this, guys. Boo on you! I throw my shoe at you.
Yeah, I don't understand what's the big idea here with Old World, because it's so inconsistent. It's so inconsistent. And you know what the worst part of all of this is?
What?
That rules-wise, Old World is the best Warhammer game right now, along with Kill Team.
Oh, is it?
10th edition is a disaster, according to rules. It's meta chasing, I don't know anyone that actually likes the current rule set of 10th edition for 40k. I think that the rules are lukewarm for AOS. But from what I understand, the rules for Old World are actually quite good.
And here's the thing too. When it comes to something like Warhammer, I am more of the hobby side of things. I like to collect and paint and assemble. So yeah, I'm not so much on the gaming side, so I can't really give comment on that. Model wise, I think I really do like 10th edition, but yeah, I can understand why people just don't like playing the game, because maybe Games Workshops forgot themselves. It's also a hobby game.
Yeah, of course, the shitty retcons aside.
Oh yeah, the shitty retcons can't even get consistent on what's happened in the Dominus Crusade. It's like, oh, this happens. Yeah. Oh, we gotta go back. Oh, gotta go back and at this.
There's always been female custodians.
Or High Fleet Leviathan right now has destroyed this really important planet. I don't think they moved on from that.
Yeah. Oh wait, we're not gonna talk about that again.
Talk about what again?
Fuck off.
What?
Fuck you then.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were telling me to fuck off. And I'm like, well, fuck you too.
Oh, fuck you too. Yeah.
But, buddy, let me ask you something, because this is kind of important, right? So, Abaddon, he can do something. Both times he tries to do something, a Primarch comes back. I'm just concerned that if he even goes so far as go and buy a glass of milk, he will bring back Leman Russ. So with all this Space Wolf stuff happening, and there's even talks there's even more Space Wolf stuff coming, do you think this is bringing back Leman Russ?
No.
Why do you say that?
Because every time a Primarch has come, it has been during a launch of an edition.
Right.
If they... maybe they could change this, of course, but I don't think they're going to bring back Leman Russ, at least not just yet. Why? Because they brought back Lionel Johnson, and what has Lionel Johnson done?
I don't know.
Has he met up with Gilliman? No, he has done jack shit. Has he met up with Gilliman? No, he hasn't. What's
happening in lore? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. GW announces all this big lore events, big leap, this great, well, not
shaking
great leap forward.
Shaking your car keys.
They announce that all this shit is happening, but, never come across, fulfilling anything about them. So,
Eniad's coming, guys. Eniad's coming, we swear. Oop, I'll go back. We can't do end times.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that was so fucking shitty. You could have figured any other way that to delay the coming of Eniad other than, oh, you know what? People just kind of grew tired of it and decided to fuck off. So nothing actually happened. Okay, fuck off.
Oh my god, this is so intriguing.
I guess all the poor bastards that bought the Ivrain and Eniad, the incarnate model, I'm sure that they feel very happy.
Oh my god, that is so intriguing. That is the question is, what has Lionel Johnson done ever since he returned?
Nothing.
Gilliman has done a lot more than Johnson when he was revealed. I'm just saying. So
yeah,
I bet when, Leman Russ returns, it's going to be like, yeah, I was just standing over there.
Yeah. What he has done has started a protectorate of planets under his protection on the other side of the Cicatrix Maledictum.
Mm-hmm. Come on, do a civil war.
And he has started gathering the fallen that can be saved and forgiving them, so they rejoin the the Dark Angels.
Come on, do a civil war.
But he has done nothing else. He has just stood in his little corner.
There's no civil war?
No,
come on, do a civil war.
No, there's no civil war.
Oh my god, boo on you. That's just not like my fan fiction at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm just saying, if Logan Grimnar will probably get his new model, and I'm just saying there's going to be a fantasy trailer maybe where it's like, and a wolf will return to us once more. Then, Rush shows himself. I'm just saying.
Honestly, like, I want that a Primarch that returns is Rogel Dorn, but honestly, I don't think that Dorn will return, or at least will not be among the first ones to return. I honestly would like rather than Korax returns or something like that instead of Russ. But at the same time, Space Wolves are popular.
And because I'm just saying too, for something like Blood Angels, Dark Angels, and Space Wolves, these Primarch centered chapters, right? They had their own codexes for years, their own proper units for years, for something like 40k. So I'm just saying, if there were to be Primarchs returning, it would be the ones that actually have an army to lead.
Yeah,
that's just my theory.
Honestly,
behind things.
that would mean, popularity-wise, that would mean, and not counting the ones that are dead, that would mean that the Primarchs to return would be Russ, Jagatai, and Dorn. Because let's be honest, like, Imperial Fist are more popular. Imperial Fist and Black Temples are more popular than Raven Guard or White Scars, and White Scars are more popular than Raven Guard.
But here's the thing: they don't have units. They don't have units.
Yeah, like the Raven Guard are just vanilla. Like they're just a vanilla chapter, and like the Imperial Fist too. But the Imperial Fists have the Black Templars in their Gem line, which are a unique chapter. So,
yeah, fair enough. And maybe Rogel Dorn is stripping and Templar stuff then.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? Hopefully, but something, anything, really.
But, I guess here's the thing. With so many Phoenix Lords and so many Eldar units being updated to plastic, I guess in exchange, that would mean a Primarch returns, huh?
Yeah. Although, to be fair, the Eldar finally got their fabled refresh, but at the cost of the integrity of their lore, because right now, the Eldar lore is a mess. Wow, such a mess. I don't even want to touch. I felt I wanted to buy some Eldar stuff, but the lore is such a mess that I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll wait.
Maybe I will pick up that Warp Spider lady because he looks so good. Yeah, she has more character gravity than Yefrain. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, like GW needs to, finally get off their ass and decide what the fuck they're gonna do with the Eldar, because, damn.
It's like, okay, guys, in exchange for your Eldar gain all these new updated models, all these updated Phoenix Lords, in exchange, we have to bring back a Primarch. Deal?
Yeah, I don't think, considering how some Eldar fans are, I don't think they would take that deal. The Space Marines got attention.
Did you do it? Did you get your Eldar? Yes. What did it cost? Space Wolves. That's what it cost. Space Wolves. You guys are really into your wolf theme, huh?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god, but yeah, it's a thing. That's the being a Warhammer fan is one step forward, two steps back sometimes.
A giant leap back. And I'm going to say on this, no, right? You know what really I don't want to say, it's not really an insulting thing, but most ironic thing. You know how Yefrain is meant to be like this, priestess to a god?
Yep.
Yeah, here's the thing. Shadow Sun is fulfilling the role much better than her.
Yeah, now that you mention it, yeah.
Yeah, because I read Shadow Sun's book, right? And, the Tao goddess, the goddess in the warp that's being born out of the, thoughts and prayers from the mortals of the Tao Empire. Yeah, that whole thing, right?
Okay. Yeah, sure.
oh, holy shit. Is this the first time you're hearing about that? The Tao Chaos God?
No. I already knew about that.
Right. So here's the thing. In Shadow Sun's book, there's the implication, and, I will say screen time, quote unquote, where Shadow Sun is sort of like becoming this priestess to the Tao Chaos God. Or, she's sort of like being, I don't want to say pushed into the role, but she's becoming aware of this Chaos God, and she might be becoming its priest. So, in a sense, he's feeling the role Yafrain couldn't do. Isn't that insulting? Isn't that funny?
Yeah. That's another, another insult for the Inari.
That Tau Chaos God is having more screen time and presence and doing shit compared to Yin'Yad.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that is funny.
It's one thing after the other with the poor Hilda. Maybe they should go extinct because
we need we need another Chaos God to thin out the ranks a little with its psychic screaming birth. Like with Slaanesh.
Maybe, who knows? Although, in my opinion, the Tau Chaos God is not going to be, exactly, powerful enough to, do anything to the actual Chaos Gods. But, who knows? At least they're following that plot thread.
Yeah, at least I was actually interested that they were going with that continuing this whole idea when I was reading Shao Sun's book. I was like, oh my goodness, this is awesome. No, I'm not being sarcastic. I actually liked it.
No. I don't believe that you are. I'm just kind of well, at least someone's getting what they want.
Yeah, especially Farsight's new book. I was like, let's fucking go.
I want to read the Farsight books, but I want to read them on physical. So I'm gonna wait.
That might be a bit tricky with some of them.
Yeah, I hate how quickly they go out of print. There's so many of the Horus Heresy books that have been out of print for a long time, and I'm like, how am I supposed to collect them then? Isn't that part of the hobby, collecting the books as well?
Yeah, I think too is that something like Blades of Damocles. I'm pretty sure you get that from an omnibus or something like that. Because if you really want a start to Farsight, it is kind of like with Blades of Damocles.
Oh, I have listened to the Blade of Damocles on audiobook, but the Farsight solo books, I want to read them on physical.
Yeah, I think they're around physically, softback at least.
Yeah, I don't care if it's softbacked or not, but I haven't been able to find them. If I look for them in Amazon, they do not appear.
Oh, they're not even
for some reason.
They're not even on the Games Workshop store.
I haven't seen them. Here, I'm gonna look.
Okay, and so I'm really am looking for the Farsight Stew book, and I don't know why I'm going to go on this tangent about the whole Phil Kelly thing. Have you seen a discourse online where it's like, oh no, Phil Kelly's writing the next Farsight book, and it's like, yes, because he wrote all the other books.
Yeah,
what's with you guys? What's with you guys? And it's like sorry, go on.
Honestly, I have heard it before.
He's really not that bad, guys. I
never understood it because, well, isn't he kind of the main guy?
Yeah, he's Tau guy.
Isn't that the Tau guy? What's the thing? From what I understand is that the Bill Kelly introduced the grimdark concepts into the Tau, whereas before they were whereas before the Tau were pretty much the good guys of the setting because they were perfect, and some people for some reason like them being completely perfect. That sounds incredibly boring.
Or goes the opposite, where it's like, oh, these guys are trying to be grimdark, but they can't ever fit into 40K, and it's like, I wasn't asking you an opinion, Black Templar profile picture guy on Twitter. No offense,
hey, I'm a Black Templar pro. Fuck you. Fuck you, asshole.
Hey, you're the exception.
Oh, no. I am the Black Templar profile guy on Twitter. Thank you very much.
You're but not a Black Templar profile picture guy on Twitter.
Fuck you. Fuck off, asshole. But from what I understand, that, kind of people got butthurt over that because, they added the fact that, the Tau are not really the good guys. They just pretend they are the good guys while being just as brutal as anyone else. They just, put on a smiley face over everything.
Or, the fact that
to me that kind of makes that, to me that's kind of what makes the Tau interesting. the sheer hypocrisy of, oh, we're so advanced and so civilized and so, but it's all just propaganda. Like, to me, it sounds like people got the type of people that like to shit on people for liking the Imperium got butthurt because their faction did not get, their commie faction turn out to be a commie faction,
Or, it's kind of like the opposite too, I've noticed, where sometimes the Imperial fans, it's like, no, I don't want the Tau to have any sort of screen time at all because I hate Tau. And I have no goodwill towards the Tau. I don't care if they get any sort of screen time, but I also am going to make sure they know I don't like their faction.
Fair enough.
Or
say, but
or from people I've discussed this with on something like the Discord, they will say, yeah, Phil Kelly made the Tau interesting because he also made them human in a sense where it's like, we see their thoughts, we see their goals that Tau characters want to achieve, and also the relationship they have with fellow cast members and their whole views of something like the Ethereals, right? That's interesting. And I think there's people who just don't want to share that. Or it's like, no.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just going on a rant here, but it's like, I don't think there's goodwill towards the whole Phil Kelly thing because compared to other writers, he's fine for what he wrote.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Like, we're not talking about writers that actually try to be controversial or the things like Gav Thorpe of Mike Brooks that actually try to goad people,
Yeah. But I'm just saying, yeah, Tau Guy is Tau Guy for a reason because he doesn't really go out of his way to upset people.
Yeah.
Or, to be the Sith disturber.
Yeah. I understand what you mean. Oh, did you see that it's already sold out online, the Farsight book?
Fuck.
New one.
Oh, well, like I was sort of expecting it. If I were to get the hardcover and have them stand side to side with my soft cover copies of the Farsight books, it would drive me nuts.
It would look weird.
Yeah, it would drive me nuts.
Weird.
It would drive me nuts, and I would hate it.
Yeah, I get it. It drives me nuts too when I get an edition of something, and then it suddenly turns into, oh wait, you have hardcovers that this now exists only in softcover, and I'm like, are you shitting me? Oh well, what can you do?
Totally. But anyways, though, I think that concludes our episode. Is there anything you would actually like to say before we call it in?
Yeah. It's tough being a Warhammer fan. It's expensive. It's infuriating. There's a legion of people that want to, for some reason, ruin it for you because, you actually like to, you don't actually want to starve unlike them. But, honestly, I still love this franchise. But, yeah, it's one step forward, two steps back sometimes because, wow, the current state of things is, yeah. Like, I mean, come on, audience. Like, this entire episode has been just one big rant, right?
It's about my personal vendetta against some puppies.
Yeah. But anyway, what can you do? Just hope for the best.
I'm not saying certain fans ruined 40K. I'm just saying Games Workshop makes it easy to bully them. You just give us ammunition to tease you sometimes.
Yeah, true enough.
And hey, listen, teasing is fun. But yeah, thank you for tuning in to Pint Cellar, everybody. This has been very fun, and I hope to record something again soon. If you like this episode, consider subscribing, activating the bell to never miss a video, and we'll see you all in the next one. Take care, everyone.